Hello, my name is Madeline and I've been an instructor with LSATMax since 2021. You're now starting the third video lesson in our Intro to the LSAT module. In the first video, we answered the question, what's on the LSAT? In the second, we answered, how was the LSAT scored, and what's a good score on the LSAT? Maybe we got ahead of ourselves in that second video though. Before you get your LSAT score, you'll have to put in many hours learning the LSAT. And that's where this video comes in. In this video, we'll discuss how to study for the LSAT. There are many paths up a mountain, and there are many ways to study for the LSAT. But we've been doing this long enough to develop insights into the best pathway up Mount LSAT. We think an LSAT study plan is best if it's divided into two stages, the study stage and the practice stage. Your LSATMax account reflects those two phases with the two verticals, the study section and the practice section. For the time being, you'll be hanging out in the study section. In the study stage, you'll have a few goals. First, you'll want to progress through our curriculum. We've chopped up the LSAT into over 50 different modules. Each icon in this study section is a module. Each module will include at least one video lesson on a specific LSAT topic. Most modules will also feature flashcards or homework questions too. Some of these modules are skills workshops, which will teach you the skills you need for logical reasoning, logic games, and reading comprehension. Many of these modules are lectures on a specific type of logical reasoning question, a type of logic game, or a type of reading comp passage. And you'll have 6 continuous learning modules where you can review the material you covered up to that point in the course. We think it's best if you work through these modules in the order they appear in the study section. But you can work through them at your own pace, going as quickly or as slowly as you need to. If you'd like to follow a schedule, you can find a day-by-day calendar in the study calendar section of your account. If you'd like a more personalized schedule, like one that moves faster or slower than the study calendars, using a tutoring hour to devise a plan with one of our LSAT tutors is a fantastic investment that can pay off in a smoother journey to test day. However you choose to progress through these modules, our course will teach you how to approach the material on the LSAT. But beyond just completing the modules, you have a secondary goal. You want to develop a strong understanding of the material. The video lessons will provide frameworks to help you understand what these questions are asking, and the methods that can reliably lead you to the correct answers. The homework questions will allow you to practice employing these methods until they become second nature. These two parts of each module, the video lessons and homework questions, will work harmoniously to build your understanding of the LSAT. But during the study stage, we're not worried about doing things quickly. That means all of the work we'll do is untimed. Understanding the LSAT requires that we build good habits. Pushing yourself to go too quickly can make it more difficult to acquire those good habits. To help us build those good habits, you'll need to review your work regularly. To help you do so, we have a question journal you can use. When you purchased your LSATMax course, we sent you an email with this question journal. As you progress through the study portion of this course, you'll want to update your study journal by logging all the questions you miss or the ones you felt a little shaky answering. The question journal will help you keep track of the questions you miss. If you notice a given question, passage, or game type keeps popping up in your question journal, you'll know you need some extra review of that topic. You can go to the Office Hours page on the LSATMax account to get extra help from one of our expert instructors. You can ask questions on our Discord board. You can get extra practice on the Analytics page, where you can access practice questions. You can even go to the tutoring page to get one-on-one help on a particular topic. The question journal will also boost your understanding of this material. In the question journal, you'll articulate why the answer you selected is wrong, why the correct answer is correct, and what you could do differently next time to answer a similar question correctly. By putting these answers into your own words, you'll begin to address the LSAT on your own terms. And once you're approaching the LSAT on your terms, you'll better understand what the questions are asking and appreciate the subtle differences between correct and incorrect answers. The question journal will also help you start identifying the patterns to this test, how different questions present the same concepts over and over again. Once you do that, you'll really be cooking with gas. You'll know what the questions are asking, how to solve them, and what to look for and avoid in the answer choices. This practice and review will help you reach your last goal in the study phase, accuracy. Remember that percentage we asked you to memorize in the last video? You should be able to consistently answer that percentage of questions correctly by the end of your study phase. When you're starting out, you probably won't answer this percentage of questions correctly. That's totally fine. But as you learn the approaches from the lesson videos and implement them on the homework questions, you should slowly build your accuracy up. You can check the analytics page of your LSATMax account to track your accuracy over time. Attaining this accuracy is an important benchmark in your study process. In the second phase of your studies, the practice phase, you'll take full timed practice LSATs. And the LSAT is a fast-paced test. You have to move quickly from question to question. You can't expect your accuracy to go up once you start moving this quickly. So, if you haven't already proven that you can answer the requisite percentage of questions correctly while under no time pressure, it'll be really hard to earn your target score on a timed LSAT. Once you've achieved those 3 goals, completing the course, building your understanding, and achieving your goal accuracy, you'll be ready to move on to the second phase of your study journey, the practice phase. As we said, you'll eventually take and review full timed practice exams in this phase. But for most of us, jumping right into a practice test will be a bit too jarring. We either won't finish much of the test, which is discouraging, or we'll try to go too fast and lose our hard-won accuracy. Instead, we can gradually ramp up our speed through timed exercises. Essentially, we'll take small chunks of test material and give ourselves a bit more time to complete them than we'll have on the test. So, we're working against a clock for the first time, but we're not applying quite as much pressure as the real test will. If we can complete the small chunk with our accuracy intact, we'll reduce the time we give ourselves for the next chunk of questions. We'll slowly and incrementally up our speed until we're at test speed. Rather than jump recklessly into the icy waters of practice exams, we'll slowly wade into the water, allowing ourselves to acclimate to the frigid temperatures. And that's the first goal of the practice phase, getting acclimated to test speed. Once we're comfortable working at test speed, we'll be ready for practice tests. Our final goal in the practice phase is consistently earning our target score on practice tests. We'll have a lot more to say about taking and reviewing these practice tests later in the course. At that point, we'll discuss some do's and don'ts of practice tests to ensure that you're approaching these productively. I know what you're thinking. This study process sounds long. And that brings us to the next question you may have. How long is this going to take? Obviously, this depends on how much you can study each day. In an ideal world, we recommend dedicating about 20 hours per week to the LSAT. Ideally, you want to spread out this time across as many days as you can. Okay, we might be stretching the meaning of the word ideal there, but you get our point. Doing 3 or 4 hours of the LSAT on 5 or 6 days out of the week is the sweet spot, study-wise. Assuming you could dedicate about 20 hours per week to the LSAT, your starting score can give an idea of how long the entire process might take. Pretty soon, you'll take a mini diagnostic test to estimate your starting LSAT score. This score is just your starting point. It in no way determines or limits what your final score will be. But the difference between this starting point and your target score can help you estimate how long this study process will take. So, once you have this starting score, just subtract your diagnostic score from our target score to see how big of a score increase you're trying to make. If you're attempting a score increase between 1 and 10 points, studying will probably take 2 to 4 months if you're averaging our recommended 20 hours of study time per week. If you're attempting a score increase between 11 and 20 points, studying may take between 4 and 6 months. And if you're attempting a score increase of more than 20 points, studying may take more than 6 months. Of course, you might not live in the quote-unquote ideal world where you have 20 spare hours to dedicate to the LSAT each week. You might live in a world full of responsibilities and commitments and other things that occupy your time. That is okay. We'll discuss ways to free up time in the last video of this module. But if you still can't find 20 hours each week, try to dedicate at least 10. This will probably extend your overall study time past these guidelines, so just plan accordingly. These guidelines are based on our experience working with students. Of course, everyone is different. We're all beautifully unique creatures who require different amounts of time to learn the LSAT, among a few other differences. If you've been studying for 4 months and you still haven't hit that 10-point increase, that doesn't mean you never will. If you're following a good plan and putting in the hours, you'll get there. So it may take you more or less time to finish the study process, but these guidelines can help you at least make loose plans on how long your LSAT journey might take. It can also help you determine which LSAT you should take. And that's question number 6. Which LSAT should I sign up for? But that's a question for the next video. I'll let another LSATMax instructor answer that one. I'll be back in future videos. Until then, I want to commend you for starting your LSAT journey. We can crack this test together, and I'll see you in a later video.